All right, welcome to the first or maybe second episode, probably like third or fourth episode of stupid shit people say on social media. Today, we're going to look at some stupid shit that was said by one Steve Brookstein. Don't know how to say his name. Stephen Desmond Steve Brookstein, born 10th of November 1968 in Camberwell, London, is an English jazz and soul singer who enjoyed fleeting success in the United Kingdom in 2004 after winning the first series of The X Factor. Fleeting success. Okay, well, fleeting success is better than no success at all. Anyways, let's read what he had to say on Twitter. He made a poll, and the poll says, I assume all those who think games that endorse killing will be okay with rape and pedophilia games. And then there's a poll. The answers are yes, great, I'm a pervert. No, that's awful, or yes, I'm a hypocrite. I don't understand the yes, I'm a hypocrite. I guess if you're answering yes to being okay with killing and also rape and pedophilia, that's not so much hypocrisy. Anyways, I don't know what Steve's feelings are on movies, but I think it's useful here to just take a movie example and see if it works. In video games, you kill a lot of things. It's the most common puzzle that there is in a video game. I have long described combat as a puzzle, and a game with good combat has, just has a better, more engaging puzzle system, essentially. And because it's so immediate, because it's so visceral, combat is a great fit for video games. There's obviously games that don't have combat, that don't have killing, but, from as far back as Super Mario Brothers to as recent as, the latest iteration of Call of Duty, violence and killing is a very common type of puzzle in games. There's other games, there's sports games, there's, puzzle games like Tetris, but they're all kind of the same thing. Which is what people don't really understand when they talk about video games and they don't really play video games, is that this is all kind of the same thing in just various forms. So anyways, to talk about a movie, I just pulled one out of a hat because there's lots of violent movies also. Saving Private Ryan. If you haven't seen Saving Private Ryan, it's a World War II movie. It opens up on the beaches of Normandy. And there's all these soldiers coming up the beach, and they're getting shot, and it's very violent. And now let's replace it with rape and pedophilia. So imagine Saving Private Ryan, but instead of a bunch of people shooting guns in a war, it was just a bunch of people raping women and children. Now, that's a weird image, right? That's not a very pleasant image. The killing isn't a very pleasant image either. But you have to admit that this would be a very different movie and a very strange experience if, Saving Private Ryan opened with just this huge scene of rape and pedophilia. Often in this really stupid debate, people will say, well, why is rape considered worse or pedophilia considered worse than killing? Killing's terrible. Well, I mean, partly because killing, we all know, is bad, but sometimes in the narrative, it's a necessity, right? Like, you go to war with Nazi Germany, you have to kill the Nazis. You have to kill the Nazis. It's a necessity born of this hostile country trying to take over the world and do all sorts of horrible things. Like, as Sean Spicer put it, Holocaust centers and stuff. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. Anyways, but, rape is very different. Rape is generally not seen as a necessity ever. And we could list lots of movies, there's tons of other war movies, and that's very common in games too, to have war games. There's Star Wars, for instance. Let's take the latest Star Wars, Rogue One. They're fighting on Scarif trying to get the data, and instead of that, let's just say that the rebels land on and start raping stormtroopers. Okay, a funnier image, not to make light of rape, but it's again, this comparison doesn't make sense. Violence, well, we all realize it's a bad thing. We don't want violence in the world. We want a peaceful world. Most people want that. I mean, there are people who want to go to war all the time. But let's not go there. Let's just, okay. Violence is bad, but in a video game, just like in a movie, it often serves a narrative purpose. In a video game, it also serves a purpose of solving puzzles, trying to figure out combat, trying to get through a difficult stage. So this poll from Mr. Brookstein, it's like you wake up in the morning and you just don't even turn on your brain before spouting shit on Twitter. That's what it feels like when I read this. Because it takes like 3 seconds of thought to realize that this is a stupid comparison to make. And that this obviously doesn't apply to 99% of people. Even if they're going to answer your poll that, yeah, they're fine with it. That's basically trolling to prove a point. Most people don't want to play a game where instead of going around stomping on Goombas or shooting, terrorists, you just go around raping people. There actually have been games about rape, but they're not very popular for a reason. And the reason that rape isn't as common in movies and television and things like that is because it is a unique kind of violence. It's not done to save the day. It's not done to stop the bad guys. Sometimes it's done by bad guys, and then, you hope that they get some other kind of violence done to them. Think of, there's Rob Roy. That's a good example of a movie with a pretty harrowing rape. Okay, that's that rape scene. Sure, she's alive afterwards. She doesn't die, and that's good. So you can say, well, killing is worse than rape. Oh, right, fine. But there is something specifically harrowing about it, and that necessitates even more violence. The point is that anybody with half a brain knows that there's a difference. There's just a difference in how these types of violence work. And it's not to say that killing is good, but, if you have a story about some bad guys and you're a freedom fighter or whatever, and you kill them, you're not condoning killing, you're not condoning murder, you're not encouraging school shootings or the crazy Cleveland guy. You're typically, meting out violence for some sort of reason. And of course, there's bad guy games like Grand Theft Auto where you just kill indiscriminately. But again, most people, 99% of people, understand that killing a pixelated image on a screen is different than killing somebody in real life. Just like when you watch a movie like John Wick, and you see him shooting people, and it's fun to watch. It's like a gun ballet. That's fucking cool, right? That's great. You know that you don't want to just go around shooting people in real life. The only people who really think that way are crazy people. And they will think that way regardless. There were people killing people. There were crazy, sadistic serial killers and mass murderers long before there were video games or movies to watch. Maybe we should blame books and burn them, because that's the logical conclusion of this kind of thinking. Oh, the children. Oh, their poor virgin minds. They have to be protected from the evil video games and comic books and Dungeons and Dragons and, Dostoevsky and, you get the picture. Anyways, that's the stupid shit on social media for today. Thanks for watching. I'm sure there'll be plenty more stupid shit to cover in the future. Peace.